Kush with a C, you watching Metro Vibes.
Kush with a C.
Yes, sir. Yes,
What's
sir.
good, bro? Thank you for tapping in with Metro Vibes, man. And you, first of all, I want to say you're a dope artist, and I really appreciate this, man. You very different, very unique. First of all, how did you get the name Kush with a C?
Yeah, so it's funny. I know like a lot of people hear it and they be like, man, my Kush with a K or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Based off of the weed or whatever. But really it's just like a part of my last name. So Kush is just like the first 4 letters of my last name, like my God given. My mom and them, you know what I'm saying? That's my last name. So.
Oh, okay. I figured it was something like that. I just didn't know for sure. I wonder if that's a part of his last name. I would really like, hey, dang, Kush with a C. I wonder what made him, but I see now.
Yeah, so like basically it was just a thing where like all my homies and stuff since like middle school called me Kush.
Yeah.
But when I was like doing the artist thing, like first starting out, I felt like that was like maybe too simple for someone that wasn't like known yet. Right. So even today, like people that know me, they still call me Kush. Like people don't walk around calling me a Kush with a C necessarily until they really get to know me. But yeah, so definitely just was a thing where Kush with a C made it to where people would remember to spell it with a C. Because if you go tell your homie, hey, it's this artist named Kush, he probably don't spell it with a K, you feel me? But if you say Kush with a C, it kind of make it easier to remember for like branding and shit.
I see. So where did you grow up at? Where did you get started at? I mean, like, what was your upbringing like?
Yeah, for sure. So like I've been in Garland since I was like 5 years old. Yeah. So definitely, man, I was South Garland High School, you know what I'm saying? And that's where I was at with it the whole time.
Yeah, so. See, when I hooped, we went out to the Garland Event Center every time. Like we played South Garland, so I know they had a basketball. So I said, yeah, that's what's up, bro. That's what's up. So how did you get started, like, you know, with music? What made you want to just be like, you know what, I'm finna just go all in on this?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the go all in part of it, that was definitely like 2019. Yeah. So I'm about like 2 years in since that standpoint. Even when I was a little kid, I was always like just a music head, you know what I'm saying? Even from the time I was like 4 or 5 years old, I was always set in with the music. I always kind of like studying. When I was in high school, I started like messing around with beats and stuff like that. I even recorded myself with like a $25 mic from Best Buy, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get it together. I took like a pretty big break in between like just high school. I went to college. I ended up at like UTA.
Okay.
And so just like so many different things, and in like 2019, 2018, I just told myself like, if you ever gonna take it serious, it's probably like now or never. Yeah. And so ever since then, I've been like just locked in for real.
That's what's up, bro. So who was like your inspiration when you say you was growing up listening to music when you was 4 and 5 years old? Who did you like to listen to? What was something that was played in your household?
Yeah, so like the first name that popped in mind is like the Temptations.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like even like the first talent show I ever did, we was singing like My Girl or something like 7th grade. You know what I'm saying? So like definitely like Temptations, like just like that soul. You know what I'm saying? But then also like R&B from a standpoint like New Edition. Like my mama's favorite group was like New Edition. Definitely Boys to Men and all that type of, you know what I'm saying? That's that era as well.
The 90s vibe, basically.
Yeah, facts.
Temptation before that, but that 90s vibe or something, that we, like even me growing up, my mom had in the house, and sometimes even my granny had like Johnny Taylor out in the house, so I didn't understand. So you said you was in high school making beats. Like what was like the beat? What did you use? Did you use like Fruity Loops?
Oh yeah,
Pro Tools?
yeah. I was actually telling somebody about this the other day. I was like, I was using Fruity Loops, and I found like this one sound that like kind of sort of remind you of like a poor man's like this little sound Pharrell used in Grinding. And so like every beat I made just sounded like the worst copy of Grinding you could ever make, you know what I'm saying? So but it was just like out of the passion and like the love of the game, you know what I'm saying? For sure. And there definitely was times even back then where like my grandma, my brothers, even people I went to school with, they was like, hey bro, like that ain't so bad. And ended up like putting stuff on MySpace at the time. I know like some people watching this
era, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So I definitely did like, I took it seriously enough to like at least do stuff like that. But at that time there wasn't any like financial aspect or anything because I was a kid. So it just kind of became one of those things where like I started worrying about girls and doing all type of different, things, and
yeah. But speaking of like going into the studio, do you have anything that you need before you go and record, like something that you have to have?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that for real. Like, I wouldn't say that. I'm not like superstitious or whatever, you know what I'm saying? As long as I, give me a fresh shower and, throw my fit on and everything feeling right, looking right, you know what I'm saying? I would say there is something like, to be honest, even like a year ago, I might not have taken as much, pride in like my appearance just when I was like in chill mode. So when I'm going to the studio, like I know like nobody's really gonna see me unless me and the artist bump into each other at the same time. But I feel like I've started to like take more pride in that, just like no matter where I'm going, like throw a little fit together or whatever, and it definitely give me that like confidence boost when I'm putting bars together or whatever. I definitely feel that bravado start popping out a little bit more the more I kind of play around with the fits and shit like that.
Right. That's what's up, bro. And I also wanted to talk about that February 1st freestyle. What was that like, just being able to go in there and just show that, hey, I got the juice when it comes to this. Like, what was that like?
It was dope. So, kind of how I was talking about, like how at times I don't see like some of the people that I work with for like long periods of time. So that was a thing where we had finished up my album in like January, and then February 1st was like my first time back in the studio since finishing my album, and I ended up doing 7 songs that day. So it was just one of those things where I was just like, it was like being in the gym and you can't miss or something. And so we really like just push and did 7 joints, and February 1st freestyle was like one of the joints, you know what I'm saying? And so definitely was like one of those ones where I feel like sometimes if I like start saying certain bars, especially early on, I'll be like, okay, this one of them. I gotta really, go all the way in my bag, just cause I feel like I do kind of like cater my music to like certain listeners. So there might be certain ones where I'm like, hey, this gonna be for the ones, one of them ones for the people that's paying attention, or one of them ones for like people that's just chilling, maybe smoking or with their girl or whatever. And so that was one of them ones where I was like, all right, if you want to hear like raps for real, like this gonna be one for y'all, you know what I'm saying?
For sure. And then your other visual that for your it's a sight to believe. That visual dope. Where did you even shoot that?
Yeah, for sure. So me and like my videographer who I've been rocking with since 2019, he was the first person I ever worked with, period. Because before that I was just in my room, like I hadn't even worked with other artists or nothing. It's Maurice, it's Essential Aesthetics, but we did it in Sedona, Arizona. So we booked flights and we stayed at a little resort and all type of shit in Phoenix, and then Sedona's like 2 hours away, so we drove out there, you know what I'm saying? Just was something that we've been talking about for a while. Like we've done probably at least a handful of videos in Dallas, and just kind of said to ourselves like we wanted to have a different look, you know what I'm saying, go out of town. It definitely just gives the viewers a different look as well. So definitely was like one of the dopest experiences, just outside of the music too, like just as a human, you know what I'm saying, being able to like dip out the city for a little bit and kind of just breathe some different air. It was definitely dope.
That's what's up. So what did you listen to on your way over here? Like what were you listening to in your car? What you listening to right now?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, I was listening to my unreleased music. You know what I'm saying? But also like I listen to like Blast and Bino. They just put out like a new tape. So like I listen to like I was mentioning earlier how I got a lot of like influences from like Cali and New York and things like that. To this day, it's still the same way. So like Nipsey Hussle, he's like one of my biggest influences. Still, jamming like Jay or Drake, Cole, you know what I'm saying?
Have you ever got that comparison, like as far as Nipsey Hussle?
Definitely feel like that's one, like, I don't know if it's just like conviction. Sometimes like just saying it like you mean it. Definitely is like somebody who I studied even like in his interviews and stuff. He was just talking about how like when people listen to the music, they can tell, when you really mean it or not. You know what I'm saying?
It's genuine.
Exactly. And so I try to like, not even try, like I really do like pride myself on that. I even got bars where I say like, listen back to every bar and like tell me where I was like capping or whatever. Because if you listen to my music, like I'm not even saying anything that you would cap about, you know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of like talking my life, you know?
For sure. So what about like shows you've done in the past and shows that you got coming up with? Talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. So really like shout out to Vibes Texas.
Okay.
They're like one of the independent, you know, just like curators of events out here. They were like the first events that I ever went to out here.
Yeah.
And then I like ended up, you know, being in like an open mic one time, and then it just kind of gradually grew into like me doing shows and ultimately getting paid for shows and things like that. And there's a couple other different, you know, Das Glue and, you know, different promoters out here that's doing their thing. Mecca at Creators Don't Die. So definitely a lot of shows locally, but then also like being able to have a chance a couple times to like bounce outside the city. So that was like super dope. Like Austin is like one of my favorite places. Even though it's still in Texas, it's a different vibe.
Definitely a different vibe. From Austin, from Houston, all of it is like a different type of vibe. So I definitely understand that.
For sure.
So where is somewhere that you would want to perform or want to do a show at?
Right. Definitely like LA. For sure, and definitely New York. Like even like for me, I kind of have always had like the biggest dreams. So like even if it was like sports, I wasn't really trying to be like the sixth man, you feel me? Like I was trying to be the guy, you feel me? I was trying to be number 23 or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And so I always tell my brother, like, I'm thinking Madison Square Garden, you know what I'm saying? I'm not really thinking like I never thought small, you know what I'm saying? And that's like kind of pushed me always to like never settle or never kind of get like too happy, you know what I'm saying? Like, or too high or too, you know? So definitely would say like New York and Cali, just something about them has always kind of stood out to me, you know what I'm saying? But also like even in Dallas, like to me, like I don't know that many artists from Dallas that have performed at like American Airlines Center.
That's the goal.
So in my mind, I'm definitely saying to myself, like, I don't know how, like I don't know what the route is gonna be, but like hoping that the destination one day somehow leads me to, you know what I'm saying, being out there in front of, you know, 17,000 or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
For sure. So you got any shows that you got coming up soon?
Right now, not like officially booked. So like one of the biggest things I've been doing is just like focusing on myself, like outside of the music, you know, just like little improvements I can make to like my process. And just like the way I'm like got my life set up, you know what I'm saying, to make it easier when I do like focus on my music. So definitely is a thing where like I'm kind of being a little bit more like purposeful with my energy. So there was a time where like I was seeking out every show I could get and seeking out you know, every little opportunity, but now I'm just more like kind of like, let me see what comes to me and then let me just make calculated decisions as far as, you know, the way I'm playing things out. So right now, low key don't even have anything necessarily like locked in, just kind of like going with the flow and seeing where things take me.
For sure. So what message or what would you tell a new artist that's like trying to come up, that's just getting started, like, hey, I'm trying to get in the studio? What would you tell them? What advice would you give?
Like do what you do. You know what I mean? Just do what you do. So if you rap, then you gotta rap. If you sing, you gotta sing. If you dance, you dance. If you do interviews, you gotta do interviews. Like you gotta just stay locked in and like make sure that you never stop doing that thing, because I think a lot of times, especially in like the social media era, it's easy to get like distracted from that thing, and like the reason why you here, like the reason why I'm here right now is because I was rapping, you know what I'm saying? So never get distracted from like that thing that's really the reason why you here, because I feel like sometimes when you start you know, mingling and networking, and you know, maybe drinks are flowing, you know, smoking, whatever. I feel like things can get a little cloudy. You know what I'm saying? And just remembering why you there, because you know, just being intentional. Like I said earlier, like I'm trying to be like way more purposeful with like everything I'm doing. So I would definitely just tell anybody do that, and focus on your business too. I would say that like one of the biggest things. A lot of, you know, newer artists that I come across, understandably, you know, kind of just don't know anything about the business side. So like, don't rush yourself There's even things like right now, I've been doing it a couple of years, but I'm still like, you know, pressing pause sometimes and kind of reviewing the way I've been handling things or the way my business is set up, just in case, like there might be a better way I can do it. Even if it's in place, there might be like a better way for me to go about it, you know, financially, everything. So yeah.
That's what's up, bro. So how can we listen to your music and where can we follow you so more people can know about you?
Yeah, for sure. So as far as like, you know, listening to me, it's Cush with a C, so Cush with a C. You know, you actually spell out the with a C as well on all platforms. So I'm on everything: Apple, Spotify, Tidal, whatever you got, YouTube, and then on all my social medias are Cush with a C _. So same exact way. I got a link in all my bios that kind of sends you back, like it's kind of like a cycle. So it sends you to my YouTube and my Spotify, my Apple and my Tidal, and any type of like, if I ever do have like concerts lined up and things like that, I always have tickets on that same link. So that's like one of the best ways to kind of like keep up with me, get in contact with me as well for like anybody that wants to set anything up with me. You know, I got my email in there too. So
that's what's up. Hey man, I really appreciate you, bro. You're a dope artist.
Appreciate you.
Just want to tell you to keep going. And I'm definitely tapped in with you, and thank you for tapping me.
Shout out Metro Vibes.
No rehearsal, dog. Practice made perfect, and I ain't perfect, dog. But I'm trying to be a match working dog, perfecting my craft.